Jeff Cooper's team. This is Justice in Pittsburgh. This venue was established to try to obtain justice for a Pittsburgh female police officer who was sexually assaulted by another officer. District Attorney, Allegheny County District Attorney Stephen Zapala has refused to prosecute. The suspect got a 2-day suspension. This website is an attempt to try to get District Attorney Stephen Zapala to revisit this case. The evidence is clear, probable cause is there. This needs to go before a court. That's the way the system works. Anyhow, going back, we went over that she went to a party, she got very intoxicated. Let's get to the point of the elements of what we're looking for here on a sexual assault. We are looking for incapacitation, okay? The inability to consent to any sexual contact or action of any nature. Then we are looking for a sexual battery, some sort of touching, some sort of kissing, some sort of violation of the privacy and sexual integrity of the person, of the victim, basically. Okay, so let's read from some of the other areas, even though I like to read, but I do want to take apart certain sections to prove certain things. Okay, this is what the victim got from speaking on the phone the following day, and we're talking about June 19th of 2021. Okay, so we still have time. From the attorney I spoke to, we have a 5-year statute of limitation. Time is not the effort. I also want to thank all the people who have given me tips, information, and have offered to look into this to help. I can't do this alone. I don't believe for a second I personally am going to get the district attorney of a major county, the top law enforcement officer, to go ahead and overturn his decision and go revisit it because I said so. Not going to happen. People out there have power I no longer have. They have contacts I no longer have and are able to help. And that's what I'm looking for. Anybody, whether it be the media, whether it be the police department, whether it be retired officers, any help is necessary. All we want here is a fair outcome. And that's what we're going to try to get. So let's get back to what we're doing here. Okay, on the phone with Aaron Fetty, the victim. Remember, I'm the narrator. This is coming from a woman. Aaron Fetty told me that he was, quote, probably too drunk to drive, end quote, but he still took intentional possession of me at the bar while I was drifting in and out of consciousness, placed me in his vehicle, and got behind the wheel. Aaron Fetty told me that while he was driving home, he had to pull over so I could vomit. So he knew I was very intoxicated. Aaron Fetty told me that he asked me where I lived, and I told him my address. He said, near a bar in Homestead? And I agreed that yes, that was where I lived, near that bar. I do not live in Homestead. I do not know that bar. There is on that street no structure with a building number that corresponds to the one I gave him. So Aaron Fetty knew by my nonsensical answer, got to learn to read here, that I was too intoxicated to consent to anything. Aaron Fetty told me that when he parked at my house, he had to carry me to my front door by throwing me over his shoulder. Aaron Fetty knew that because I could not walk on my own, I was too intoxicated. Aaron Fetty told me that he took me up to my bedroom, where he told me he was going to take off my pants because I was covered in vomit. When he told me about this interaction, he said, quote, you said, okay, but I don't think you understood what I was saying or what you were agreeing to, end quote. Aaron Fetty determined at the time I wasn't coherent, so he knew I was very intoxicated. Aaron Fetty told me that we made out, quote unquote, and, quote, got to second base, unquote. What are you, 5? Okay, anyhow, but he didn't go further because it, quote unquote, would have been rape. Aaron Fetty admitted to me that he knew I was incapacitated. Aaron Fetty told me that we should just consider this a drunken hookup, that I don't have to feel embarrassed, and that we shouldn't tell anyone about it. Yeah. What happens when the child molesters tell their kids, don't tell anybody about this? That's the biggest red flag in the world. Don't tell anybody about this. So anyhow, that's where we're at on reading that. So one thing we definitely have fairly clear here is that the victim was incoherent, incapacitated, and unable to consent to any sexual act. All right, so that pretty much gets us for the first part of this element. Now we're going to go in our next program to the sexual touching or the making out. In other words, sexual battery. And now that we have two major elements of the crime, it raises the question to Steve Zapala, why did you not prosecute this case? We'll talk about that. Jeff out.